Nemanja. My student ID is 103983638, and here I'm demonstrating my advanced feature. So first off, make sure my face is in there. I'll show my website. Here you go. So we've got a whole bunch of tabs here at the very top. My advanced feature is in the properties tab. So if we look here, we have a list with two columns of properties. We have a address or a search bar here. You can search for anything. I'm pretty sure you can search for even the seller. It's very slow. Sorry, my Mac is very old. It's very, very old. Oh my. I think it's because I'm recording right now. Alright, so we'll use let's do 6 rooms minimum. So okay, there we go. The filters update pretty quickly. We can do the bathrooms as well. Minimum 6 bathrooms. So these filters, they kind of help you search through all the properties. At the top you have the address, then you have the price, you have the number of rooms, bathrooms, and cars, the person who is selling it, and the date that it was sold. So it either has a date like here in 2016, or it's not sold at all. So now the advanced feature comes from this image right here. So this image, I don't have to, I have about 13,000 properties stored on a JSON file. And instead of storing images of all of these properties, I thought it would be smarter if I use the Google Apps API, where I could get a street view image of the property instead. So this will avoid, having gigabytes worth of images stored onto the server. So this is a snapshot taken through the Google Maps API. And here, if I click on view on Google Maps, it will, if it loads quick enough, there we go. It would put a marker on the location of the home. And this is basically having Google Maps in a separate tab. But instead of having it in a separate tab, you have it on the website. You can change it to a satellite image, change it back to the map image. You can zoom in closer just to see the surrounding areas. You can make it full screen like this. There we go, but I won't do that because my Mac is pretty slow. You can also get your person here and just drop them right on the street. So without even having to leave the website, you can just look at the properties, look at surrounding areas, to see if you just like it. So this is the property that we're looking at here, pretty much. You can move around just like a normal Google Maps, like a Google Maps page open. That's exactly it, exactly the same thing. And if we just keep scrolling, because we have filters on, there's not that many properties listed. But if we take away all the filters, we got a whole bunch of pages. Like I said, there's about 13,000 properties listed. So there's hundreds of pages that we can just go through slowly. Now, if I move over to the code, I can explain how it's done. So I'm gonna make sure my face is there. So it starts off in the index HTML. So I need to move this so it sees my face. Sorry about this. Mac is pretty bad for this stuff. Right, so in the script source, I put in my Google Maps API and I put in my API key right here. In order to get this key, I had to sign up with a Google account, put in my credit card information, my address and all that, and then sign up for their free trial. So it does cost money if you do use that a lot, but for this, it's fine because it's just a free trial. But yeah, that's how you get the API key. Now, by doing this, by having the script source, any component could use Google Maps. But for my project, only the property list.view actually uses the API. So then let me just close this to make it a bit bigger. So at the very top, we have the template. So we have all the filters in the search bar here. If we scroll down, these are the property cards. So as you saw, there's like a card, like a box, and it has the name of the property, the address, the image, and such. That's the card, pretty much. So that's the card of it. You have the pagination at the very bottom where you can scroll through more properties, which only lists about 10 at a time, but we can change that easily. Like we can change it right now. We can change it so the page size is 2. This might take a while because my Mac is very slow. If it just... Okay. Control S. If you do Command R, maybe only 2 would show. I'm not sure if it refreshed. See, it's because I'm running an old MacBook and while I'm recording at the same time, so yeah, it didn't save. So if I go to File, Save All, when I save it, it should refresh. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. Just save. Oh, I don't know why it's not saving. Oh, God, this computer is horrible. I'm so sorry about this. Alright, so let's just continue with the code. In the data, you have the API key. You have the list of properties. You have the page size, the current page you're on, and the visible maps. And the visible maps is basically, like I just showed you before, when you click the show on Google Maps button and it opens up a window, this keeps track of how many properties have that window open. Right, so as soon as you load this component, the first thing it does is it runs this mounted function where it just runs the load data. And load data just fetches a JSON file from the public folder and it stores it in properties, the variable that I just showed a second ago. Now the second thing is in order to get the image, I have to call the Google Maps API. So if I scroll down to the card here, I should have a function called getStaticMapURL. And what this does, it passes in the address, so the latitude and longitude of the property. There we go. So you get location, which is just latitude and longitude, and you pass that in and you call the Street View function. Because for whatever reason, I cannot get access to the photos that users post of the property. That's I'm not sure if you have to pay like a pro plan, but for my free trial, I cannot get access to user posted photos of the property. So unfortunately, I had to settle for a Street View, which is what you saw before. It's just one image, a snapshot of the property, given the location and the API key. So that gets the image. And now at the very bottom, you have the button to show property. And what that does, that runs the toggle map function. So if I just show you down here, you get the property key, which is just the address and the date, because Google Maps has different versions. So there's Google Maps 2011, 2012, they're constantly updating it. So you have to pass in the date and the address of it. And I get that key by running this function here, I get property key. So I get the key, and if the key is already part of the visible maps, then remove it. That means I'm trying to hide it because it's already open, right? Otherwise, if that Google Maps tab is not open, then let's show it. So we add that to the list. We create a new instance of a map. We have like a certain zoom level. It's very hard coded, but we could change this, and we put a marker. So as I showed before in that one property, sometimes when you drop a person down, it's not looking at the property. It might look away from the property. So just to help the users figure out where the property actually is, there'll be a marker on the screen where they can turn to, and that will sit on the property. Because for whatever reason, sometimes the camera is just facing away from the property. So that's to help kind of avoid that issue. And over here, we have a few different other functions, such as we have a bunch of watch functions. So if we ever modify the filter values for the minimum number of bathrooms, it will just change the current page back to 1. Just very small functions here. We have a bunch of pagination functions. So pagination properties just uses filters properties. So whenever you change a value of one of the filters, it will just loop through the entire array of 13,000 properties and return whichever matches. And now my file just saved, and it's recompiling there. So if this actually, just wait a few more seconds, there we go. It finally refreshed after about 2 minutes. So if you here now, you only get 2 properties per page. So I'm sorry that it took that long. My computer is very slow. So do you remember how I changed the page size to 2? It just refreshed after a few minutes, and now only 2 show up at a time. So that's just a live demonstration of how the code works. Right, and that's about it for the advanced feature. It shows this snapshot of the street view, and you can open up a separate tab to look at the property in the surrounding area using Google Maps. Right, thank you.